your for your boy Patrick Barfi, High Life Radio, and I would tease Kasem and the bro no. And so your baby from Kukrama. Send na easy canono and then questions I war finances. Sorry, questions I war housing, mortgage, selling, buying, refinance. Your expert wa ha. Yenya Lex Admakon. On the no the babeshisha so ewa ha. Tino katrunia bi na ono so on me na yina emfa the questions and so many things are a war emra. Bet me dialing or numbers na they will me the better chat no so. Those numbers na bet me dialing bet me aboa ama wageti your friends life ana etimi akasa phone numbers no so ho bet me a fresh up so fra. Ominia we dey we still time. Minia what make kasa?
About your also,
we still time tiene. It say what the my debia wa ha ba ene so do you adi kakra na afi yemfa free ha. And say debia bebia de beta so to tama omanim bekukwa yanim ansana ti do you adi kakra na afi yemfa entita so ha.
And then but that's it nana that's ne High Life Radio adaroma ene wetiefuo ene say nyimre so mama ho kwan say yemra ne medidi ye ho komo emfa edan ho hyehyeye ne ton bibia fa ho bia within the Alex Adomako Champo I'm a realtor Virginia and Maryland Malansisi in both states in both commercial and residential and that is my background namne Samson's properties in the past 5 years. This is my 6 years with them. Manuel Siminia.
Yo, yeah, that's be Ben, minim say Ben also. What question be na Ben? What question mine?
But your there be any this year.
Any this year. You any minim mute ana. Na mute. But me tin noise me who baby a noise ni free. So me try now. So yo, Cynthia.
Hello.
Actually, a question there here. High Life Radio and out, and then your question I expect about house mortgages.
Oh, me patcho me join in a met.
What's the answer?
Yeah, I'm patcho.
Yo, any bro, starting my how I bit see I started say before see a bedroom who crash say your fat mortgage, you know. Saying that I was here started with. It has amount for but nobody questions about so now for year for free honor. You say amount for say started a snap, you know, nobody questions about.
Very good. So and said yeah, what can I we want your person about the last time the the state we want to talk about the state of the US housing market. That is the true. The person may do 200 more in terms of about the housing market because now there's so much going on as to rare information and actually
alternative. Is it alternative information?
You know, want to talk about the state of the US housing market as you and I know, right? And the state of the US housing market now, what is taking place? There are two things that are taking place at the same time, which is one, home prices are going up and up and up, right, as we speak. So in that case, it's a good thing for those who own homes, right? And the other side also is for those who also want to buy one, especially those who want to buy their first home. And I said some people move here, either they want to buy an investment home or their second home. So that is one thing that is, you know, working against those who want to come into the market now. And then there's the other side, which is the interest rate. Interest rate, but here we are, CC is sitting anywhere between 6 and 7%, right? And so those are the two main factors in your mind. We have it now in the US housing market as we speak, right? And so In terms of buyers, the wind that is blowing, you know, we say is, to some extent it has been a challenging one, because if you cost through, and at the same time interest rate to echo, and so at the air cost through, but one lead to the other, which is a bino rate necessary for almost one was started 2022, almost 2 years now, or raising rate now, it's still sitting where it is now, no, is to trying to stop home prices from going up, right? And so by trying to do so, no, and so no, it's punishing those who want to buy, right? Because a buying person in if you born is stabilizing and a shrubbery, but at the same time, also no, people also want to buy, and the other side also is also no good, which is rental also is going up, and unfortunately, no, whenever there's a situation like this, like if you borrow cost through, now interest rate to cost through, the rental market, you know, take advantage in that they realize that there's opportunity. That means especially there's a pool of people here. Now they want to buy, but they are stagnant, they can't buy, or people are saying, say, oh, they are doing, you know, waiting game. Into the waiting game now, then the rental market is quickly they jump in, they want to cash in, because well, I'm on top. And yet, the all renting me then we need 2 years, and then I increase prices. Apartment I increase. Until now, no, that is one of the things that is going on in the market. High price versus high interest rate. And most importantly, in the midst of these two picture I'm painting here now, there is also, how do you call it, kind of standstill. Standstill and saying, you will think that enka home prices are costly. People would just, oh, may ton na menya mfaso, and I may ton na makoto for something. Now, no, ama woman so was existing home in Nano, so no, woman so they are not willing to sell, because people sell home for at least 3 main reasons. That is one, either say auto, na wa upgrade or downgrade, right? And I say obua auto, na ebia wa retire. What you say? Into move into retirement home. Those people, it's easy decision. But Obu also had a third one, which is not a bad situation, but unfortunately it happens. Obu onuma ebi aware for ana couples, partners in a kotoye. But now, unfortunately, now this relationship is not working anymore, right? And so, by so doing now, some of these relationships now, toxic ones they are stuck in this home now. Obi na, if they sell this woman, also be a movie copy baby. And here is a situation now. Abia,
yo, bro, mami, yo, ikaka. Nanayo, kwacho, what question be my if or house your friends a mortgage? Nana?
That be you say if I am again, you know.
Yo, be an so question be the answer. It, you know, your broker so.
Right. And what is the third option now? Na Yamakaba. Na may discover no is say and also it's part of the problem. Say make na it uses sa and nipping in under normal circumstances. If you they'll be able to sell it and make equity. And I say the third people now make a relation work here will be unfinished can go to rent the person wants to tell you but in the situation rate was through prices also high steady, no. You see that caliber of people also are and the end results now, no. One, because of prices are equity building no homeowners, but rate no so are cost through buying no person or the stabilize pricing and also one also a person and also no kind of challenging and so on and so forth. And this is one of the fundamentals and now the current market. And it's not just about housing, but anything behind it has to do with finance now. And non about the raising rate now up to date. We are sitting here and there's a possibility say we are hearing say the last meeting in June, they are saying hopefully maybe they are anticipating say this year they may have 2 rate cuts, namely Possibly the first one might take place in September, but it's all up in the air depending on how the economy is doing.
Yo, brother, officer red card here because he started in the last December. And I mean, I said in based on the way economy you see and answer a risk card. No, it's not a crack run and say, open so just you see church, but not so just to say, my ready. Many then say, me pesa me see be I say, was me 2 fees here. Main quarter and I say, main chain and I say from your aspects and I say from what you're on the field. No, what do you see? What? Say my emphasis will be me as see my say my emergency non compensate me to 2004. Me sha a dying cost interest rate so cost my confused. Then I'll be catching me.
Yes. So in terms of that, now that's a very good question, which is a common question that is running across. Over Google, it's one question now. Google search as one question. Do I have to buy or do I have to wait? It's a common question, and I get it every week. 3 things that I've said it and I've always complete that. There are 3 things I would fear. Questions I one need to answer it effectively, which is number 1, affordability. 2, a product you like. 3, a community are working for you as individual or your family, right? But the most important one on top of the list is affordability. If you can answer these 3 questions, a product you like, a community that works for you, and then most importantly, affordability. If you can be able to pay there, then I think that you are ready, because there's no going to be a good and a bad time. It's very difficult to time a market, right? There's always going to be ups and downs. But one thing I always say is that yes, if you can afford it, then buy it, because interest rate I may come once earlier and also those interest rates are also temporal, right? Eventually, those of us who have owned homes, or as everybody know, every loan is refinanceable in America here, right? From credit card to anything. Even we've heard it multiple times. Oh, even businesses crying, so they are renegotiating the terms of their loans. What are they doing? They are refinancing. So if you be able to maintain payment, then go ahead and buy, and then later on you can refinance.
Yo, me say noise na me pese who baby ade free. But ote. Mami Jane, Pacho em say one bemu yi, James obitina log off no asa log back in. Tell them kind no questions bi so person the two chat ma obitimi ato chat in. What the chat ma ebitimi aye ho adwuma. For bro sauti.
No, I me clear. I don't hear anything.
I'm can't what noise be. I say na nyum bi bo wachiri.
Me Pacho there be me meti wa.
Sound yo. Let's say free me have baby ana. Yo, that yeah. Next question. So they say, hey, yo, the next question. Me what's abem, and you know aba. Yo, like I said, will be a question be a way there, and there a questions on why you be preach be brave. Yeah, questions be brave na you per se try na yeah the band question be a wo for mortgage, you new mortgage. I think a brand new episode je. Waji dada 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, 1 year ago needs anyama no. Question be a will be a refinance be a ho.
Any question?
Yes, selling or buying. Nina ka ho.
Okay, to make my start, it's my chance, Yana.
Pacho, koso.
Okay. My wife, we are planning to buy a new house, but I want to find out from the council. Say,
what's your process?
Right? Jose.
What's your process?
Lambert. Yes, sir.
Bro, Pacho, all free. What free or phone so?
Yep.
I'm saying you know background, all right?
And
oh, you be background.
No.
Yo, any koso.
Okay, so I want to find out, say, is it the right time, say, ever talk down for, and I say, it's not the right time.
You have to kasa kakra, you have kakra bi mra kakra. O say
Mr.
right time say
Is it the right time, say, ever talk down for, and I say we have to wait for a while. Looking at the interest rates.
interest rate yo brokwe.
Thank you, Miniala Benton. It's a very good question. And the question I always say is all about your readiness, right? And how do I define one readiness? One readiness is defined by one, affordability. Two, a product you like. Three, a community that works for you and your family. And so if the first question is able to answer very well, which is the means to able to afford that particular home there, then I think you are ready. Because when it come about talk about interest rate, there's been the interest rate is what determine how much you pay, right? Which means it reduces people's buying power. So for instance, let's say between interest rate 6% and 7%, right? If you are to buy a home of let's say 400,000 with 7% interest rate versus how do you call it 6%, definitely there's a decent amount of payment that is going to take place between because between those interest rate you're talking about almost $200-300 more in payment, right, for the same type of loan. What is the mention? And so the question is interest rate permanent? Interest rates are not permanent. And so if you are when our community are open there and you'll be able to manage your payment there, then I'll say yes. You go ahead and buy it. You can always refinance it. I hate always to say that because I don't use refinancing as a tool to educate clients in terms of buy or don't buy. But the plain truth is there's two evil that is going on. One evil is better than the other. In that, okay, me rent it. Well, if I'm renting, well, what am I getting in returns? But okay, I'm purchasing, yes. Under normal circumstances, if my rate is maybe 5.5 versus 6.5, where I'm going to be paying $300 less, $400 less, it's money. But the thing is that if I buy and I'm paying a little bit more than my expectation, one, I'm building equity. Two, at the end of the year, all the interest that I'm paying here, I'll be able to write it off on my taxes.
I mean, hold on, mommy. Obi was something we are about. Why? What to make us? Bro, to make us.
Maybe I try.
I know. Obi so the other line. Okay, young koso.
Right. So I'll be able to, when it comes to mortgage, yes, I'm paying high in interest, but at the end of the year, and I'm able to write off all the interest that I'm paying on my taxes. Translation, so me you $50,000. Na menifie, na se ABR and can some minya $1,000. With that mortgage that I'm paying, there's a good chance that if you're $400,000, the interest I'm going to be paying, I'm going to receive maybe $2,000, $3,000 at the end of the year or when I file my taxes. That means, yes, I'm paying mortgage, high interest rate, but at the end of the year, it gives me tax break. You are not just talking about the interest alone, but you're also looking at property taxes. Or property taxes, so you use that one also to write off your taxes. And that one affects your state returns more than even your federal. So the mortgage interest rate affect both federal and state, but the property taxes, because you are paying to that very state now county, you get more returns. So my answer to you is yes, if you can afford it, then it's always a good time to buy. But one of the things I also hear is, home prices don't go down forever and home prices don't go up forever. So Matomi fee 500, I rise there to 600. Unless something comes up and they say, oh, my fee is down by 20,000. No, that is not the end of the world. Said yes, no, one day. And that will be my answer. I'm not sure, say, I've answered it for my brother.
Your follow-up question, bro, number to bet me the account, say, when you saw, Kakan comes to make before follow-up question, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, no, I can, but, I mean, definitely, house over a little tax, definitely you get a percentage of whatever you paid to whether the county or yeah. But the question is, how long now interest rate in the cost? You're looking at the maths now, and I say, who say interest rate in for many times soon, and I say, quite never cost.
Yo, mama, bro, me for her. Memfa, yo, dear, me who say, as or church, the person can say interest rate in the as a control ni so. Yeah, expect ho, amount for ni na not speculations near day. So we kaya, say be a woody chick say from last year, from September ho baby, I say December ho baby no, and that speculation started by say interest rate be kofo. Hey. Now the entire man yes and said that time no na inflation no started drop kakra and based on sa nneɛma no no mo share interest rate no share this Fed year omo ho ya omo one go pay omo go na some person omo drop inflation into they don't care what is going to happen omo say no hwɛ say omo see na inflation some person omo kwa 2% answer at the same time so even then 2% kwa no say the economy is doing good can yet then you could be be on but we share the first quarter no na economy no numbers nenye into anye to postpone the next one no so na nye ene ewo mu yi asana the next one so a ebeba eti no media to me ne de me hwese ne nyama si kona me hwe de Fed way this particular Fed we omo hwe de way omo si ye omo nyama na me nye sure say interest rate no e be drop it say even class say drop kra na remember say and 50 prekopia nko sa 2 na 3 na e wo no e be bibi e be gradual e bia 0.5 bi na ekofom they said no mu reason mu usually hwa the way omu see reason no and the way omu see a drop in yana difference omu drop here omu drop no smaller than say bi omu raise crowd the way omu see reason so usually supposed to be asana yan hu it you know you were saying be say marry the house and marry your friends in the home no and date the mortgage
interest
rate. meaning say interest rate fluctuate e ka betimi akoso betimi abafo by houses ankasa party bro em say obetimi testify to this em say start to say we are call this field obetimi aka number of times the houses akofo and the houses need the drop in adding near to me no kakra me mehu pa say interest rates your friends say houses are dropping pa no we share the history of this country somewhere in the 1930s in a drop one. And at the next one drop here, houses drop here pass another 2008, 2009. And you share houses par there and time drop it. So share the 2021 hono ekona emphasis COVID time now houses ekona. Houses kosro bebre na kosro no. It was inflated because people there were so much small, which it is still now. So many people out there looking for small house, number of houses. No, it that's a demand. No, was so high. It's nipa a clash or dime back, clash or dime back. Na nipa no a dime kasa price a be 200,000. And nam say ubi pennies was member 210. Ubi member ubuhana fi na could do 24. It's not amount for top price no original price nankasa. Said they make out here say it at that time now nema muduju kakra no so when says a drop the bar as I drop a friend correction a correcting itself to the original and just said house not drop it and drop it it's work baby at house drop it it said the 30s and the 2008 and 2009 it is why already media to say the all can me share no see can as no corner expect or say nya dia and then airdrop is say interest rate in the between go back and forth. No, so no, we need control also. The whole control also ɛna bi a osika no readiness away he I mean ya make say so why ready a ini so twɛn obi a na usually no you shouldn't depend too much on the interest rate the which kind or say as all time you know what time ya nya no ko bibia all time ya na tough nti no say my readiness ne say e bia me wo mixika kakra wo hono ma e bia metimi dia e bia me wo me down payment kakra wo ho ma ye ho ready wo ho me wo me your friend say closing cost my ni na ready wo ho no metimi asave sa niam no wo ho me sure say bia me wo emergency fund bi damachi in case any motor house a omo motor house bi bring that day na the next week a month no go na furnace no ko ana say bibi akọ in case bibi ba because now no yen rent bi bibi aye wa dia if we was any money now na feel say oh yeah okay ni ade a na uhwe na mortgage a obetua na enye too much be it into your friend is saying your monthly take home pay a men chain anytime be a beba form be your friends interest rate make form be no ultimately reduce at the same time no say that shouldn't be the weapon but if it comes fine because what turn at that point to cry na say interest rate na to me na eba form that means when you raise crowd on ma e be crowd between be go mortgage so ma wetimi atwa winter eti so obetwen de we hwe niema esi ko na I don't think say obi beka just twen say
Okay, me that's it.
And otherwise, we are waiting for the next question. I think so just to piggyback on maybe where you left off now. It's just like one of the things also people have to also understand. I said, as China, in terms of whole price, unless something catastrophic happen in the economy, because like you said that when everybody can Google, as some of the things we are saying here, you can Google it and you can fact check us, right? With the exception of in those 1930s and 08, 09, in the US history, we've never had any major dip or collection in home prices, right? And so when you go back even to after COVID, 2022, people can go and check. 2022, no, there was a stale when they first started raising rate, almost 30 February. So that first summer of 2022, home prices dropped. Very, very dropped in nationwide because the people were in shock. Said, why do we see January, we see under 3, and all of a sudden they see 3.5%, 4%. And so people like Ian Tobium. And I kept telling people there, no, this thing that the Fed has started, this is just the beginning of a higher interest rate. Into place, if you are ready, buy. Those who adhered and they bought, they look back, and some few clients of mine, they like, Alice, thank you. Because I got 4%, and now you're talking about 7. So that means that had I waited, will my rate be 7? Right? That was the 2020, the same, how do you call it? 2022, no? And so we had a drop in prices in 2022. And then going to the end of 2022, for whatever reason, when you look at US interest rate around holiday, I don't know whether it's present rate comes down, especially on mortgages. Everybody should pay attention to this. November, December, rate dropping. And so that 2022 rate drop in that November, December, and then all of a sudden people came, they scooped all homes on the market. And then it jumped to 2023. Then January 23, the Fed realized that job market came strong. They have the rate again, right? And so you realize that since then, that was the year we had a drop. Since then, mortgage home prices are steady going up again. And so timing this market is not always a pleasant thing that one always can do. And so when you are ready, just move ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Pacho, obi a question bi na nkofo phone lines so me hwese metia from obi a question bi a obi a question bi your brokers as oh bi a betimi aka kana me frɛ put them on hold.
Okay, yeah, because somebody tested and said they were coming through. So, I think it is very very important. And at the end of the day, being when it comes to buying a home, and it's there's also that kind of fear about I'm going to lose my home, right?
Mhm.
And that is one of the things that I always tell people. So look, becoming homeless by renting is higher than you be a homeowner. As a professional individual, I'm not going to sit here tell anybody, say, oh, you can stop paying your home for X amount of month and you can continue to own your home. But I can tell you, say, it's not easy for you to lose your home as one.
Hello, High Life Radio. Is that Lambert Bimana? Oh, okay. Okay. Yo. Yeah, I put some people on hold. Okay, Brock also.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And we just have to educate our community and our people a lot. Since in this platform, all of us are, we are from diaspora. Typically, we speak English, so it's safe to say everybody tuning this evening program is a Ghanaian. And so it is very important that we're trying to dispute, this kind of myth. Hearsay, and there's a lot of things that goes on that over years ago, people started talking, oh, I'm for no move your mulusi, but the question is that all these individuals who are talking about this, the question is, were they a homeowners to begin with? Wamutobi. And Wamutobia, what happened then? Right? And so it is very important that when we are hearing things and we are making musa, and episode to an amobia, not just a theater, be episode talk to expert, be on do your research. Unfortunately, sorry to say that there might be people who are crying, ebi or no rent, and you cry who to an amon say obey homona. Na nyamiada roma wabra bokra sano. They have a problem. And they would throw in the zinc. Hey, Jack, if you turn there, enough for moon, minimobi okotobi, and want to me and well, do you know my financial situation? And so we just want to encourage one another that home ownership is beautiful. People who own, they're proud of having your own place of to call it home, and not just that. The comfort of the family oriented, the peace of mind that you have. And yes, I will rent you be what you know be and I be way, and I be way. Those kind of things. It's very, very, very important. And most importantly now, our future. Unfortunately, the reason why you see say the Caucasians at their golden age, which is in their old age, they live a better life, is that apart from other investment, home ownership is their primary thing. I mean, some of you can bear with me. Obo college, Caucasians or college no. Nana wofu anase ne nana aman sikana o school no akoto town home no they rent it. Into onu ne part-time no and yaboa no ato ne first home. Efe na yenso no in most of the time no what I hear is me warrior. And we want to dispute those kind of myths that you don't have to get married before you buy your first home. So we are individual na where we school, we are juma, and now anyway you have the money, you are single, or bar or bema. No, don't wait to say me worry answer. That means you are putting your life and your future on hold on somebody you are going to get married. Because we are single no to fear well. You worry who or bar na bema no ni bia enter me fear mu. See I worry so now say me fear ni so what do we do? I can rent my home. And and that home become another investment for you. So those are some of the things that I think is that we have to get rid of it. And then anytime when it comes to some of this inside, we can take that kind of bold decision and then go on and acquire our homes. And one thing also I want to say is that we have to begin to accept humble beginning, right? When it comes to home buying, it's not one-time event. You don't think so, me pay 5 bedrooms, but I cannot afford 5 bedroom. And make me a 3 bedroom home and into mentor, because owning something is better than owning nothing. That is what I always tell people. Owning something is better than owning nothing. And so let's embrace it that way. You can buy the small home, build equity, you sell it in the future, and in turn, you can put the money and roll into much bigger home.
Yo, to say the Okano, Kakram, a tier for say, Upesa joining, say, Yayama, please, ubet me the question up to chat box. You be ready, na answer, and to bet me the chat box. Why? I'm say, Yaye fu Kakrawa Hanum, Monfa and Che. Say, Pacho, question, do you have any question? Say,
Patro, no question.
Yo, Pacho, Udina, or my question?
Me the Cynthia. Mr. Alex there obeso only me pa. Me so be who Cynthia crowd. Hi. Okay, me perceive on throw a little bit light on obi on one on ne partner. Ebia no any credit. Obi on so ne partner no credit, but na bad. So how can the two help each other? I think some people know, others too don't know. If he can share that, how they can help each other build like good credit to help towards buying a home. No, that's it.
Thank you, Munyaba. That's a very good question. It's something that is very, very important that all of us, we come to the same page, which is some of the mistakes that people do by building the credit. Now the credit in 800. Oh no, oh, my credit is 800. Do you know that of your spouse? I'll find out from them, right? And so, unfortunate in mortgages now, it's not like a car loan or a credit card, whereby I said the higher always the superior. Unfortunate, mortgage company, they want to rip you off, just to put it plain. It's back on 800, not back on 700. And guess what? The terms of the loan is going to be based on the 700. And so going back to say the question is, how do we help each other? We have to make sure, say, at the end of the day, both of you communicate. So to fear, communicate to each other. Honey, or credit score is saying, wait is saying. And then whoever is there is building his or her credit very good now. You teach the other person how to do it. But on the other hand, one of the easiest way, I think, is that there are other factors that sometimes the couples cannot help each other. They need somebody who has insight. Like if clients come to me and I interview them and one is lower, I ask them, please, are you okay? You want to open up to me? And some of the things now I can suggest to them and then we can turn this around. But if say be a collection and I charge off or other things are nasty, one of the easiest way is authorized user. Authorized user, one of the couples or credit card, $500,000, $500, whatever. One, so credit card nenye late that. Two, over you soon, say 1,000, where you sway be a $200. This credit card now, the other spouse now, or lower credit score, no, you can tag him or her on it as an authorized user. Into the notice as authorized user, and I say, sa card, no, one, he has to make sure say card now, your spouse or say family member crowd or to no. That card should have at least 1 year longevity. And your card work in 3 months, not no, that would do more harm than good. And at least credit card any 1 year or more. Now, what talking as authorized user. We want to avoid say we didn't as a account owner. Because account owner, you best actually nipa na the credit in and yes, I call running beam. Into Africa, crana honest was at into me patch into any ye. Authorized user, your social and name, date of birth. Na ya the natusu. Tia the natusu the following month, and I said depend on when the credit card company be report here. Say card nenya 5 years. Say 10 years your report here 10 years history no. Boom. Na ako nipa na ade natusu no hono mo. That is one of the easiest way I think he said we can help, your partner or a family member turn their credit score quickly. And one of the things I also suggest, they say, Obia non try so best sign up with a credit app, either through Credit Karma. Now some of the credit companies in a free Capital One, all the major banks, so your online banking, those your online banking, we are hurting ourselves. We'll be able to credit score now, click is what we history, every I think 7 days or so be a normal update, Until then, you'll be able to see your credit scores. You'll be able to click on it. You see the individual credit account, and at the same time, no, ebi hana refi phone company be a no moja adwuma wo last bill $100. Ebi a utuye anase ba kura wani apaso. Uban some do akwa collection. The last time I remember the last risk I did for one of my clients, one collection, it took this individual 100 points away. 100 points. I'm telling you. Because our me didn't come on and say, oh, my credit scores, I think, is in the upper 7s. And or apply I buy 680. She was shocked. And I'm saying, who collection or say, I'm not sure. And I'm a fair loan officer. Also, yeah, there's one collection here. Guess what? $238. And I school her. Otuya ya de come collection, ya de come credit bureau na ya risk 100 points.
Wow.
And those are some of the little things I think say in addition to the authorized user now, also yamu home. Say a card be your man on your and say your credit. And that is just some of the ways I think that we can help our partners or family members raise their score. They are more into it detail. If one need more, we can, if there's more time, we can talk about it, or I can be rich after the program or someday.
Yeah. Yo, Sister Joyce, thanks for joining in. Sister Joyce, thanks for joining in. Dave, what's up?
Nothing much, man. Mr. Alex, man, this guy, he. Thank you for the resource person, man. Mr. Alex, you are good. I do real estate appraiser. I don't have my license yet, but I do. I'm a trainee. I do like houses. We appraise houses. Realtors in Bibre no one pay us because at times no value, the umbe the car it doesn't come out that way. But now fresh in Accra. But thank you. I think the name now is good. It's good. I like the fact that this is really educational. A lot of people don't know. Almost me rushing into it, and at the end of the day, no property. But my question best me through Mr. Alex, say, I don't know, say if you ever had this client before, right? Obi about how I say, oh, okay, maybe I say once a while, right? But back at home, I have about, if there's a property here that is worth about 700, right? I can afford it cash. So have you ever had a client like that? And then if not, Kwampona, do you have any idea, say, if somebody wants to buy like a property here, right? And the person doesn't have like all the necessary documentations, can the person go ahead and buy the property? If it's not for investment, I know it's investment, and I know, I see people do real estate investment, but this is not for investment. Like maybe somebody back at home, I'll say, once a while, if I have the cash, even I come to you, all right, will you be able to help me to secure property? Thank you.
Yo, bro, before the final,
yes.
Thank you so much, Dave, for the good question.
Thank you.
Like me be a question, but me just say Nipano or Baha course just a visitor, and I say or documentation or the Tiha and as saying.
The person could be say or maybe multiple maybe 5 years. But
okay,
5 years Okay. Thank you.
Yo, bro,
Yes, thank you for that question. That's a beautiful question I get all the time. So the answer is yes. Before even I explain, we have a lot of, yes, we have a lot of yes. The answer is yes. Yes, the answer is 100% yes. Before even I go down to the breakdown, we have recent days. One of the problems that US is having, and most of this in advanced country they are having is foreign buyers, especially in COVID years. That there's a way that even the government want to find out to try to prevent those things. But this is a free market. You can't say something, right? Why am I saying this? Because some of these foreign buyers, they have even make problem worse for we, the nationals or the citizens of this land. Especially now that I'm saying say rent workers, now when you look at statistics, some of these apartment company investors, they've also moved into single family townhome, investment now, because they realize that the face of America is changing. So people like to also rent a townhome, a single family home. Sometimes they prefer it over apartment. And to some of these Wall Street major, cash people, what are they doing? One more number run and a community by community. One more to fear no more renting. And the answer is yes, you can buy it. But I also have even lenders, me myself, I have lenders they help people with this foreign idea. Most of the lender now I deal with they are going to require 30%. Those who have the cash now, praise the Lord, they are blessed. It's easy. They just have to talk about means, how to bring the money to US, and then it's easy. Then you buy it. But almost so ABR, who needs getting in other better so finance yes. I have a full document. Anyone who is interested, I'll be able to share with them. And no, most lenders now, almost 30% at all. The remaining one, because I said sometimes they cannot source a Juma whether Ghana or wherever now, they do what is called a bank statement only. And in this case, nobody make a 3 months bank statement. Every month they are no cash flow heading. Yes, it can be done, King David. But most importantly, in the crown, one don't have to have the whole cash, but they can refund, they can bring 20%, 30%, 40%, and with good transaction in their bank account now, we'll be able to get them a home.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yo. Actually, your question be my question be kakra me person me cover previously they now come about mortgage share you see your friends say Caucasians and whilst they are in school no cry no their grandparents be momo skebi omo their tall house e bi kra na omo start bibi say when it comes to world building in this country you who say house and our mortgage it take majority part of it. See, I'm say free COVID basis year, millionaires are increasing in this country, all because of the way houses are cost. I'm a month for millionaires, I'm a month for another month for network a cost. Make us millionaires per se. An increase amount for network, a month for network cost. Network and the infant network or network and the a cow dinner any scow winner, be a woobia and the free more. The can anyone network. Nti emphasis me wodan na se dan na ye be 700,000 na me turn 200 na se now no your friend say me turn 500 na se now 700,000 na means me even cry me tua be 100,000 a year. That means me was 300,000 a year equity. Nti me obi kakra me for one can another investment now kabuma e ma network cost. Nti home die mortgage die ye mu no kwase me nua ha when the kasa or catch me will be a back capadia or case a male advice yourself a caddy by a dine caddy in any city because if just say where they are also never be tito. The only thing I'm mortgage cool and hammy be breeze say mortgage. There's nothing wrong with it. So who's and I said you're kind of go on. Now sometimes mortgage they may feel say high I drink a clan say yeah. As if I see a toy forever home right away. There's nothing like forever home. Say be crana, you're ready see between to town home, no, you pay big house, or because it be another for be a big house, it also pay big house right away. There's no law I what country say you can move up in mortgage. But you move up all the time. It's the also at this time. No. The entire makers and say we can't mortgage, okay, be a dime and like a face in name said dime with the bed 350, 300 no. Those houses now bear 500. It's next be wum kakra. It's in a pet single family near. This is single family near, depending on the area. Area where you kakra 700 credit. It's maybe you might not be able to afford it. Now the interest rate become one. Maybe I won't me, but you are still insisting said that house now pay. I think say I will see a starting maybe because who here say head there nutino and one happen now ton with crown. Start free town home. I'll be me afford it and you cost not town home no crack cost kakra. You can always sell it. Ugo kanya send selling po ubi okra nyame adom ye bra ye bokui wo de nyame tutu ye nyame tutu you don't even have to sell that one bet me rent that one okra na wakọ next one na opese oto no so ebia na nyama tutu yi nti ya dey pray pa wo say the bia ye pay forever home and as ye pay big house right away and ebu a nipa na akodi na chi ohun so wato big house no adamfo na say ehunu bia ohun so te big house no akọ big house na uchinta apese okoye bia the third house the second house eti enkodi na chi sa twawo de wo ho beso wo ho so wi a ana say as nyama ekọ nanim no timi a movie up. There's always a and at the same time so what to be na so ho chiro na hwe na ni na timi downsize na be ya hominu Alex your brother Alex obemo guidelines obetimi di as etimi ayesa na nyama nyina because if you are then bro so we ho hwe out timi senye yi ho papa o men twen ni melusu fie no you know yeah you can always downsize and there's nothing wrong with that too. You know, it can say me ni about kasa na ye ka about say you know see me met downsize na dia na me neighbor beka dia na me na for beka and I'm saying ho nya nchiro ho chiro wa won dwin di obi beka ho you know yeah ho chiro pass ho chiro na say and I'm saying ho nya nchiro because you have to be hungry what the mention so ho chiro pass ho chiro you know now we say we say we can never nya kodan mu na anya hwia yeah downside there's nothing wrong with it nya what to ya obetima say move up biem dan say obetina hwa yim bi obetina hwa ma ya ba be lusu edan no so ti if you say no dey ya na any idea you try say betimi aye way anyway obi your question biem a question bi anyhow abafo me fi say na yenya bra ha ye be me man pa mo fa me man yo and interest rate no so no the bakra me hu so fa interest rate no say when you go to the history of this country when you go all the way back history history part say averagely this is the right interest rate be a way now human can interest rate pass and as need because I think in the 80s early 90s no it was even 12 and 14 near there.
That is true.
And we share pana some kai pana we share say na commentators near don't know when they're talking about interest rate yeah present interest rate near huna we share the way I know musika na musi as zero interest rate. Why is it 2% 3% so almost zero? Because we share the interest rate in the past no na your friend saying 2 digits near there 12 14 and look at people were buying homes. You know, I quite remember so I was listening to this guy say, was it the first time I was 12 or go 14? I'm not for someone to feed him. That year, no, I'm not for to feed chain. Never 12. No. Yet the interest rate you won't mean time and I won't control. Focus on the house, Nankasa. Anytime a buff from Biano, but me refinance it. The brother over crack one because I'm not based on the interest rates in the pa, you know, because Nipa will blow now, 12, no, yes, Nipa will blow 12%, 10% near then. Yeah, nipa bebre hu sa de no de bia na ehu akosi aye 5 7 ne ade nti se no e kɔ 1 2 ne 3 ne ade nti se de chisa se ase kra obi kakra kafa wana.
Yes, I know that work no, but one of the things are interest rate and American. There are so many products, right? Depending on who is your agent, right? Because normally when you read what you read in the news now, it's just an average.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know for sure, say even last year, when in October, rate even hit 8% now. None of my clients, they got themselves 8% interest rate. Never. The highest I saw was 7.5%. Highest. Because some of us, we have multiple lenders, right? We have multiple lenders that people can shop from. Because if you have multiple lenders and so on and so forth, and especially in our community, since a lot of people don't own home, and most people who are coming out is their first-time buyers. Who is considered first-time buyer? So what if you know 3 years alapia, you are first-time buyer. Into their programs are first-time buyers are, their programs are a more special rate. Like there's one through Virginia Housing. It was one of the brighter programs that a lot of my clients took advantage last year. And it's kind of Baneko, right? So what happened is that a lot of money. It comes through county by county. Until let's say, and I'm not because I say, if the program says, oh, your rate is 6.5. So if there's money by virtue of you being a first-time buyer, now and I say in the past years, it's not a dollar amount automatically, no. If your income falls within that bracket, they give you 5.5. Instead of 6.5, it drops to 5.5, right? And
just because of the income, and that's a credit score.
No, it's a program. It's through Virginia Housing, right? So it's through Virginia Housing, but Virginia Housing give you grant. Those grant is year round. The money is always there. It doesn't run out. It's based on your income. Whether January, December, you get the money. But in addition to that as well, the county and the city you are in now, there are some non-profit organizations, people who donate money. And this money, the idea is to promote home ownership through first-time buyers, right? Because who 100,000, 150 now they cut off for the and you be your favor. But the person what top for now, yes, if there's a fancy, those people know they are able to get a reduction in rate. And there are so many programs, USDA, any other USDA is a loaner. That particular product, one are crafty the target here is to serve the undeveloped areas, right? Because they don't want all of us to be crowded in this Northern Virginia. Now, even Fredericksburg is part of Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, when you talk about the area AM and I say average income for Fairfax, whatever, the same income applied to, Spotsylvania County, because they realize that most of the high earners also have moved to those areas, right? And so USDA is a programmer. They give special interest rates, special peg, and people can move to outskirts. Outskirts. And you would say, no, special programmer. The terms are very good. You can do 100%. Still, decent interest rate. Is credit score neutral. Like, you only need the qualifying score. That's it. And then whatever the rate the government set now, you get it. And there are so many programs that are there. Those first-time buyers and people who are moderate income, they also have special rate for them. And grant as well. Some of these grants, they have zero effect on your credit, on your interest rate. I know, say, oh yes, they have, because you try to say, okay, the only person that can get this grant for 10,000, and says an income ESCD 123. And so far as say your income is within 123, you get this grant. No question.
It's free.
It's
grant,
free.
They say it's free.
It's free.
I was in your program. This you because never be blue hormone bit. We are boy. I mean, to be a third day. You bro. Question be about. I mean, one question be about. You near baby or say Flo. Thanks for this question. Very good question. I'll say, what is the best rate to refinance? For example, if your rate is 6% now. What is the best rate to refinance? For example, if your interest rate is 6%.
I mean, I think straightforward. I mean, this is not opportunity. There's no opportunity for her to refinance, right? Because the rate is now, the current market is between 6 and 7. depending on your credit scores and then the bank, because there's a lower rate that banks can give, right? The government has nothing against, lower rate, but there's also a cap as which the free market can push. If you fall in hands of those who are going to push higher, the law allows it. And so this time party, I don't just say, who was 6%, it's not a good time for you to refinance. And the rule of thumb, I always advise people, say, the only time it makes sense for one to refinance their mortgage is when they are going to save 3/4 of a point. 3/4 of a point, for instance, you know about fraud year or 6%. If so, because of 5.25, which is 5.25, then it's going to be
5.25. Yes.
Yes.
Quarter. Yeah.
Yes. So that means we'll shave 3/4 from her current way, but we'll be able to say, oh, we'll save you 1/4 of a point, 0.5 percentage. They are just ripping you, because refinancing a home comes with a closing cost. Yes, depending on the magnitude of your loan, they might show you $200. Say, oh, 1/4 of a point, maybe you are saving $100, or 0.5 percentage, you are saving $200. But the question is, okay, I'm saving $200. It can pay my phone bill or my utility bill, but how much is it going to cost me to refinance?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which in this case, if you have equity, and I say equity can come in form of your down payment, and I say, if you 2 years into equity abem, they're going to lie to you. Oh, you don't have to bring any money to the table. Everything is covered. Do you know or other end in there? One no refinance yet. Said they would of you. They cash you, they walk away. But they are not going to be transparent with you. Say, oh, we'll go over spending 10,000, 15,000 to refinance your home. And so if you look at saving $200, how long is it going to take me to recoup that $15,000? And so me as an agent, when I'm sitting here, anytime somebody comes to me, I play the numbers. Even rate I can once there's a buy down where which I say, oh, rate near 6.5%, but make me add S amount of money about to take it to maybe 6.25%, 6%. But I always reason with my client to say, how long is it going to take you to recoup this 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 the bank is taking? Because if you are not going to reap this money in a short possible time and interest rate drop and you are going to refinance her, bank no agini sika wakoda da. Into when you are buying the end, I would say when you have next year, any beyond that, I think the rate will come in the mid-5. Yeah. But ideal in the crown, I always say drop a whole point, say 6% and menko 5. Not, wire financing. That's where I see say you're going to make your money. And lastly, me pacho refinancing so also bisa say, what is my future outlook for me and my family? Because I make refinancing and the class I drop it. Now make refinancing. Now me say, oh, 2 years time if you make ton. Now me refinance save myself $200, or let me save $300. But me ko ton fie in the next 2 years, me ton save fee. Now some me spend 10,000, 15,000. You do the math and see say, okay, in 2 years time and next year me ko ton fie no. Sa refinancing money no. Sa ta me recoup me money na. And it's a one means I didn't know so now you just think about $200, $300. Now people who refinance now what down who ton so and also what to sikegu. And there are so many things when it comes to refinance, one need to factor it in. Manuel
Bro, we the some can be a hit me pepe da. Refinance we had a year or two now to that it be hit me pa. Na me o kano now can when the union. Sanya marketing tea obeka say enye we na we see here this education we see ema we no because sometimes refinances one where won dey bia na etuskabu o can say even class a cost to be about 15,000 to refinance na a year. How long is it going to take for you to recoup? Now we need 200 every month krana. Me check is 200 every month, that means 75 months. That's not waiting to recoup. size can, which is about 6 point something years. You know, Sani man kitchen no say education this year, but they who Sani money now see Jimmy Carney acquire refinance. Na to said a hono said na ukana me see be me and che bia check a credit. You thank you. Yes, sister, say yeah, thank you. Thank you also if you have more questions. Yeah. A che bia check a crack. The talk your friend say na your kutofi, but I didn't nim see bia be free. But all of a sudden, now say bia you free hadin. And steady, even though no, it wasn't much, right? It wasn't much there, but steady and Casas can crown, can between the two, they saw the next house, no, or down payment near the baby. Yeah, we lost about if I said 9,000. It was hard in Hong Kong. You know, Sank if free, cabinet at that, die back on so a cotono, ama usika kosro. Now, question back, I mean, so before, but will be any question there, or question I'll be to me about, breaking. Na uka so question be mo ato aso nka sam wi kura na ba ko amesme kan question ba ko am bisa no say refinance, right? Say you refinance no say was you refinance see you refinance because minim see your community ne de see you refinance ya mostly no bia you kwa refinance e de asakọ kugina either say one you just carefree and as two you refinance ya you say kwa akiri a drop here quachiri nana emso kwa saba back na yo your refinance esa ti yemfa se me wo etofie the year 2010 ebia metimi atua madru metua be say yemfa se 2020 2020 na ma core refinance na ma say 30 years na sa start bi mu ana is it a good idea na say sena was it refinance see because say as a dan yenya address see esi ebetua wi da ti de bia no because as I said, we share the rate. Metimi aye dan aba be sibia be 10 years. Metimi se metui tu kakra na afikra na hwe a omotimi aye ro mo agigi omo interest na wi anka fe de anka me na principal no kra be ba me homo no na afima sa call refinance as a 30 years bi. Is it a good idea? And I say sena we can afire no so hoamai.
But that's a very good question. So the answer is simple, right? We refinance. What is the reason why we are refinancing? And most of the time when people are refinancing, there's two questions that comes to mind, right? Either one, they want to make sure say ABI and the current payment, especially in this environment here, rate here higher, ABI and the payment no into one or percent or reduce the payment. And then two, the second option why people refinance, which is the most important one, is that send me the $3,000 echo mortgage company yeah, and can be rate here 6%. ABI emu $2,000 echo interest. But some refinance it na interest rate ni drop here, but the 3,000 echo woma. Now all of a sudden you're going to see say to ABI $1,600 and echo interest. And in terms of terms needed, say all refinance na rate na conform. Na say officer wa ho odi betumi I maintain the same payment no. Probably maybe I in 25 years that will put you there. But I always say there's no rule of thumb say the utia no na utia. And the most of the important reason are two reasons I can either one to make sure say less interest is going right, and then two to make your payment affordable now. And it's why refinance one. That means now no utia mortgage more is going to go to the principal. Into what 30 the first say what 30 on the books no doesn't necessarily bind you say continue to stretch the loan to that effect. You can pay more. And imagine say emra rate year 60 me 3,000. Me refinance am 30 rate no 5 no. Now me 2.5. Not 3.5 3,000 me okay. No. I don't have to do anything. I can afford a 3,000 until you keep making the same 3,000 payment. And so what are you doing? In
bro,
a given year,
nana so or question. Meaning say what the better chat nana so kasa be nekasa nana.
Right. Enti
nana the question about nana ko. Yet we're cheaper.
Hello.
Yet.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to say, like, if you are going through the mortgage process in the year, who enough money in your account doesn't make any difference in terms of mortgage, like mortgage processes.
But you also say if we going through mortgage process, not say we need enough money, and I say enough money.
Hello.
Yeah. But you also say enough money, our accounts man, and I will be saying I say we need enough.
A bit friendly fable.
Who say?
Hello, but you're not going.
You told me say. What's it? Who go through mortgage process now? Who enough money, and I will be saying say who enough.
Yeah, money. Yes. Is it like if you have enough money in your account, doesn't make any difference?
Okay, bro. On your question.
Oh yes, yes, it does make a difference because always there are 4 documents are normal on visa. These are the prime document. They ask for your 2 years W2s, which is if we be a normal worker, your taxes are W2. The exception is 1099. More taxes then they're going to request your 2 years taxes and W2s because in that case, W2 now they take their income from their taxes. Into yes, one of the documents that they source is your 2 months bank statement. Into 2 months bank statement, why do they want to see it? They want to see a transaction now. You have your down payment and closing costs. Do you have the money for both? Or sometimes at a bare minimum, lenders know say, oh, if you run into your closing costs, either or a portion. Until you can get a bypass on that. But they want to make sure that at least with down payment, and as some of these banks are making, have about 5 different banks from the Virginia Housing to other banks one grant. Some of these grants, depending on your income, it can pay all your closing costs. Into a bank or grant or the amount, it can pay your closing costs. But they want to make sure, say, okay, if down payment that you have it. And so, yes, having money in your account, it helps. But sometimes not if you don't have money at all, and then the bank offer the grant and you are going to do 100% there, then if the bank analyze it and realize, okay, yeah, we're giving you how do you call it, $7,500 as a grant, and we have 100% program, you are buying a $350,000 home, 75 can pay your closing costs. Then they will say, okay, we'll be able to qualify you. Or sometimes some of this 100% program now, they also put in a cross, say, okay, we would like to see 2-month reserve. If you don't know, more grant, you are also doing 100%, but at least a person with 2 months mortgage payment sitting in your account. So overall now, I think having money sitting in your account, the more you have is better, but any money sitting in your account is very helpful.
Yeah. Can I ask a question too?
Yeah, King David, go.
Yes, sir. All right. So this is Mokasiana. It just popped into my head, right? So if you have couples, right? Okay. And then Osha, income wise, right? Both couples, you all make a decent amount of money. So one person can call if Mokoye with your loan, all right, like how much you guys qualify, and say, okay, one person qualify for 700, the other person qualify for 600. So with a house now you're trying to buy now, I don't know, so it's about 550, right? At your, because Africans especially, what I've seen is right, is I know it's advisable, right? So one person can buy it, right? Now on all the income at all, right? But on the I know the house, right? The deed, right? The other person name can be on there. But I have seen situation whereby even because say share okoto dina no the loan but kono beka say the loan the loan, so right? Can you throw more light on that? I don't know if my question is clear.
Clear. Bro, I mean, start with
Okay.
Okay then.
about my experience. I'm a who say, you know, the American kakra is when it comes to finance, that nyama no say, you need to na yentiasie. Se kumu asama worry. Ebia na say situation ti bia na mo worry by bia ni we so. But some worry no cry no sometimes say adwuma. Some worry na mo kuruma. It doesn't matter the need that the fee no so. Say our jaiba from a fee to 41K to DND a pepe, a bit pepe. It is sometimes no, yeah, especially in Myanmar, yeah, munya butre kakra. Oh, because King David I say okay, ebia near no crowd, near decent, ebia crowd muni decent, ebi crana bako, fall off kakra, until we say more the bako crowd in the toa. Eh, ubu betima mo matna what home and so on said they be or trainer, ebia ne so cry and sana in na kabu mato. And I bisa. Sometimes in Yabutre, so far as more worrying quadie, a system be a bar, be pepe, and a woman who say be a minister, I Fasama, say be cranny be divorced, never was with Dimika, no, a quay be a fanchen, no, a fat, be on the end of their shenchen. Judge never some work from that time, was I was a coach, and man be no much and pepe. Into one of the year in Yabutre, a crow was hey, na common law class no say if you come worry wa ha na say bia office ma you feel na motia na common laws ni ade na e ba ni sa na ma ni bibre ni bu aye aye nim laws ni ade ntini aye hey tia nya na another one so abetimi aye say obetimi de your friend is saying said you can ba ko to na ba deed no that's why the same though you are not on a mortgage but within deed no so it is still the same just the mortgage na din na so and no crown say biba na mu jai na usimi explain year still na dia mortgage so ka ho no bro fatu aso te ho na person man na wo fa wo dia na ka ho
and one hwem what can you pepe it just a little bit to say here nana kan na sometimes where the problem even lies is when say credit back is 750 back is 680 and so back on the person so bad loan you are pulling the whole family down because between 750 and 680 is huge. That means 680 is going to do FHA loan. And FHA loan, the terms and the conventional loans, in each of the loans, difference. The higher credit score, the better it is. And so in that scenario now, like Nana said now, come to an agreement and then use one. And then one party, yani animal singing unto fear now if you now so palace as a man. What me to did in this one, me fear, but me owner, I will fear so. I don't have to be your partner. For me to did in Sukeke. Uton fear now, or Michelle. And he said, the work once I would did in this one, you are equally entitled for it. But like he said, now, whether my warrior, Virginia, where in Virginia, in the whole America.
Yes, so many states, yeah.
And Virginia, one, our for the special our for the it's a title state. A title state means what I'm more than so many than so 50% share.
Yeah.
Unless you are able to prove otherwise, if you are the menya with you. No share. And common even dwelling a equano. This not we are not talking about our racism, but we be no be keke. Say apart from a say relationship, almost now. No an address fa ho ne ade also wo pam no no ope obone a odu kodina kote aketesi me na tena mfie mienu nie me ne tena bra wa boni enti me pese me claim on this aketesi this abrante if judge no approve say ampa what ho no ma the judge can claim something for them not even a fee
yeah
enti when it comes to sanjuma na we have to be very very what is truth from lies because there's so much things that provoke come this can grow boom hey na day I would do you didn't kwakoto idea hey your body that dance hey yeah and he said that we to film hey wukun na we jawa no father no any anom let's be rare a crime no me na betinum a different from baby you feel and a hand say we did the deed in so there's no way our partner no obet me akwaje equity. There's no way obet me turn down without you signing off on it. Let me put it here. I had a list nipa na wu. This is our for nipa no sebio. Nipa na ko wo overseas. What them say still. You do time the other party need to down no. I am also. Almost no. The real estate law just say some document be. I just say nipa na wo no. Ne ma bi anase odi na ade ne agya to mu say the otiase need to be ton fie na. Even though there's a death certificate, better than no man in Tonda. That is how strict the law is in this country. And so, if the Wu cry and you turn it out, then the other party knows needing what done so. Yes, you know, there's a document that also proves say the surviving, heirs, are agreeing to this person to feel. In how much more say wow, what you say? Ma yen worry, I was a man,
Yo, Kwaku, thanks for joining me. Uni ebe didi ana. Kwaku.
Oh, Kafra.
Uni ebe burara.
Kafra.
Ne Kafra say, "Waba ye kwada o beko. Wabra yi dey."
What did you ever?
Odi ebe. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's, yo. What
More
questions
question is
Kwaku, what question?
Question be am be bisa.
Yo. Before so beko, it's saa nneɛma wei na ma fi bebree ɔmo ntumi improve ɔmo ayɛ stagnant wɔ hɔ because we fi sɛ ɛsɛ we fi sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ biribi a yɛbɛkyɛ ne pɛpɛpɛpɛ kɔ court ne adeɛ a ɛna wei nyɛ pepa sɛm a nnɛ sɛ yi biara please sometimes saa nneɛma no nti bo na ɔmo obi sisiw ɛnyɛ yi bia so far as mo wei na mo nyinaa ɛyɛ mo deɛ ne deɛ ɛyɛ pɛpɛpɛpɛpɛpɛ yo broko.
Come on.
Okay, so there's a young guy I think so in the late 30s. Now, a person on his hair house. But a person who used to the 401k sika, I think that he was saying something about a little over 40k. A person on withdraw. That you'll be within to do whether the closing or down payment. Is it advisable?
Yo. Me dear, to be honest, I had many less be differ from me. To say it's good to disagree to agree. The end product is some way will be able to see a fast economy. To me, the 401k, we don't start touching. You are robbing your future self, right? Because one time I didn't mean then I'm robbing from my future self. The 401k, the whole idea of 401k for your retirement. Yes. Some plans allow ultimate ticket for your home, which is ubeting a ticket. When your penalty in BBA also. So when to me improve say ebia bibisa or now we should the rate at that 401k no so as it makes sense because of penalty and the taxes. It is a yiska emphasis say yiska that's is kind of 70,000 a year. Penalty and interest any taxes and kwana fee be 30,000 let's be 40,000 I'll be fee but they said you can no withdraw na say or qualify for I said me kind yes we between qualify for between issue 401k they have to fee between qualify for that and we qualify but me to me I don't think say we could top down na say we go through the 401k and say man you are ready. People like this, say over struggle, we thought that anyway over struggle. My advice, say, we make sure say we go through the right channel. The right channel, say to me, the right channel, say, or at least we reduce down your debt. Now, or at least 6 months of living expenses. Living expenses, say every busumi be a misu, it be 2,000 and a random fear. There were at least 12,000 at the whole. And sana my pay me down payment kakra as a 3.5 percentage of the fee I make whatever it is no menye no na me closing down and sana me to fee me ma set sa route no set be akoyi for 1k. My advice would be that sana me make minia me need nko bi we differ from that. Say the kind of pay you share the right way out be drew or any here it brought also far there to so ha
yo that's the other question about so I think it's that I will always going to differ, of course, because what is retirement, right, and what is buying home? If you have an investment, and if your 401k is what is going to help you to achieve. Yes, it's not something unique that has to do with we even as minority, because 401k no grant you krum 401k no 401k no you beto akwasibro ni krum enti kwasibro ni ne kra no na wono a create avenue say who go to fi abajibi, right? Enti say if eno na bebo obi dia, yes, it's a very good thing, because 401k, like Nana said now, is for your retirement. When you're buying a home, yes, your day-to-day, she said, it's also about rent. I said, there's no feature for you. But who to fear now? Whether say maybe depending on your age, you might be able to finish paying. Until we turn we are young, no remark. Depending on your age. And it said if you wait to make piano in 10 months, like for instance, if every year piano, so you have 10 months of your mortgage, you have extra 1 month, you drop your payment to 23 years. However, so we income here now we mortgage to me in double with the 2 count. Instead of paying 12 months, we pay 14 months. In 16 years now, you finish paying for your home, right?
That's
and
how.
Right. And so at the same time, if you finish paying for this woman, well, your initial 20,000 and now 30,000 now you free or 401k anymore. You realize that through that, you've been able to build another wealth for you. So if that's what you need to do, I think that it's not a bad idea at all.
But I mean, follow up bill. What say Ubetia be a fan 13 months instead of 12 months or 14 months instead of 12 months. How would you do the calculation? Now, first one is it or principal no or principal no divided by whatever? I mean, what's the formula?
Right. So one of the easiest way, most of the mortgage companies now, even when you pay more than how much you're supposed to pay, 90% of mortgage company automatically they send you to the principal. If I say you have 3,000, now the 100 can automatically woman say abroad, so I'm going to call or principal name. But in a situation whereby you want to do bulk ABR, depend on how your finances is. But we are at this point, I can say, yeah, we'll be our mortgage be now what we are the month of December, they are preparing to go pay July in next month. And what we are by 15th, what we are June, not June, after was sending 1 month. You send that particular street, you instruct them, say, me tria extra 1 month, apply it to just principal. We'll send the car, they will apply it for you. And that is one of the ways you can do it, or you can set it up in such a way that share payment so what you are online. There's a portion I say pay extra. So what's setting auto pay? What's setting monthly payment? Not extra now. So obviously $200. What's setting? And so honorable.
So next time, you better illustration at all. May a EB and kibit me because sometimes I'm for so. You think you log in next time no you be near log in yeah no so actually
but that is one of the ways
that side now what can is very important because one percent also one with the tip principal no so extra be an connect tip principal no so
yes sir, can I ask my question too? I know I'm asking too many questions, but once I have Mr. Alex here,
question
Mr. Alex here now, I think
before then Mr. Bro, your friends say I said we did be able to carry we they can say the mortgage your friends say Dave I tell so the way you bet music the 401k side now make can say yes a house no investment which is big one you be young by the time I retire nanka by emphasis in this situation I remember say Lambert in a question was it boy is about 40 years or 30 something years and so we used to have 40,000 now the cocoa the cocoa dynasty say we just the final so we used to have 40,000 in fact we did 37 years no ye 30,000 and 40,000 or the cocoa uja ho go to be a normal process be taking be about 2-5 years and son when you're saddened there no the 40,000 we invest in one fan in sakran touchy bima one touch 40,000 right? That 40,000 is going to be about almost 800,000 for 30 years. It's like I say you are robbing from your future self. That's but like I said, a dinosaur and also your investment at the same time. Saying I was any discuss what I say a die BBA equity no within a short time credit cost to cry. You say amount for network. Good, you good, but that's my stance. Say if you leave it at now invest that in no one touch says can crave him say no that baby crana for the 30 years now would be chain fans or dying you know. That scan is almost 800,000. That's my stand. Ricardo. You ever say about me? So we did be a car myself. Dave, for a question, so can we snap as I can before between a car for Dave? Can Dave? Oh, mute. Oh, mute.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Let me say. Okay, let me say. I know saying what is your advice? So you have say na so ni grata, right? Will you advise them to buy or not to buy? That's my question.
Well, when it comes to building welfare, krata or no krata, it doesn't prevent you from building. But so if owning krata, because I know that Yatofia will be owning krata, of course, they are this is a free market. Some lenders owning krata on Tondamo, right? Which is because most of people are telling me only sikadudua or the better on foreign buyers, you know. But they are also lenders are obuan mango for owning krata, but almost social made more right. Yes, owning krata, why not? Once I want to fear what to fear in there, and Ukran what to fear crown is I think that in the future crown, if say owning krata and what me to fear no crown or Utima. In the future, God forbid if there's any immigration crown our companies, there's a lawyer be crack or kwama. Now will show with ties. Or this country say, look, never will crowbar no, and yes, what Yaka bet or Bobrawa, but Nifio Kurania or Japadia. And nobody can even help build who case say, once no by Hanamono or Bobra. And I mean, when it comes to investment, they are no. Yeah. So far as if in the first place, Nipa no Ankasano, Uninkrata betut or the Dioduma, na lend the Biakol fund. Of course, why not? And Udrum or 20 feet now. I bet Arabian just Uninkrata, Nisika or Twain Famano. Because your man auto to begin with, dear. And or Tony dance or who finds Unisika. And I'll say yes, if they have the means.
Yeah, I know the fashion members I don't know. My own stagnant. Say if with me at to finish and yaman said yeah in your cano. If anything crab and I say what me can say me down and me tom idea na me because one away age man to your be and for this can this me for can say it because of this you know. Okay, Bobra who person to die na so bit me akon so kwan na ade na be ton say the me cano. It be a lenders be nyama but lenders be yama na unya mo be yama na yeah to because it's the same thing when it comes to world building and emphasis I don't know. Yeah, I hope so. King Dave, I hope you answer our question. No? I'm so yo. Okay, yo. Question you who be man. Yeah. Try say.
I have a question.
Sure. Joyce, Matewa so because I'm in here. I feel you about you young quay.
So I know you guys had talked about the fact that both of you don't have to be on the loan. My question is, what is the advantage of one person being on the loan and then on the documents also? Because sometimes when the person is on the deed, when they are also trying to get a loan for something else, for some reason, that is also added on to their amount of money they are owing, because they're saying that yes, your name is not on the loan, but you're on the deed. So you are also equally responsible for that. So my question to Alex is, what are the advantages of having just one partner, having their name on everything, including the documents, as opposed to not?
So thank you for that question. It's a good question, but I think when it comes to sometimes one person being on the loan versus the two partners now, let's go back to what happened years ago. That is where a lot of people, started doing that because they were afraid. Say, hey, say, it's Sabakuba qualified just in case. Say BBC, not say that is what people are thinking. Say there's a potential of repeating 08, 09, right? And to say Eswati, let's say if you're what you're 2,500, this is a about 350. What do we do? It's sort of foreclosure or short selling it now. I short sell it for my husband or my wife, and then we turn around and buy it for cheaper. I think that is one of the areas he said a lot of people, some couples, when you talk to them, they think that where he has advantage. However, on other hand, the disadvantage also is if one person is on a deed, say if you're not yet or no, din baako din wo loan so nese baako din e wo deed no so a se ekotofie bi mu a nese enka the next house no won so wo income anka betuma take advantage as first time buyer and also not own your home because of say we din wo deed no so automatically no that first time buyer, even though you are not on the loan, by virtue say your name is on the deed now, you are not more a first time buyer. And that is one of the disadvantages. I see couples who both of them make good income. They tie themselves into one first loaner. And as I tied the deed into their name into the deed now, actually, they say, oh, we want to buy an investment home. And then because of that, now their name is tied to the other home now. Investment home, then if you are not careful, they have to come out with 20%. But if it's not investment, there's also a second home. If it's a second home, that you say, we are going to buy a second home. You see, the story has to be straight from the beginning. Because if you say, I'm back home, not even spar anything we did, now mo go to investment home, but more person more call emrano, more family ano, more for 20%. More from me and us will be second home. Yeah, to second home. Second home, the law allows you to bring lower down payment, just like, primary home, right? But it's already it's an investment home, not a true move off. And so one of the things I know it always hurts, is especially the first time buyers portion, which in our community are maybe a lot of us now, we are married, you are worried, be fine. But maybe I am go register. In the end, we say, to me, dance around the law, no. I was the two couples, no, be a primary home. Near dying, near the back then for investment home. Do they really go around? So Moko say, a yampa. And that happen, right? And that is one of the area not a hurting crop for, but on the other hand, also, you be bizarre question. If you want to be a back and secure. First, a then wo dimu, wo a Japanese now wo dimu. Then the other person need to be on it. But if Sentiasio when you said in the future we have a target, the way better there, then the loan can be on the deed, and then so that in the future, some of these things now will be able to go around easily. But however, some mudin was so number some secondary home there. Yes, you'll be able to bring low down payment and then get around the law. I don't know, say if the question has been answered.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. The remember when you say sometimes we make too much emphasis on those things, to say but I couldn't be any laws near adeno. Emma need to me for BBS. Say I am not common laws need those things or see based on that because as I know money family be honoma or my stagnant because of Sanema. No quacoto idea. I have no befa and I papa be crab by me for be by Sani see those times in Yama be free and almost far from Hoodie or more be yes at tea. It's saving cramon warrior or cratem cry Hannah say common lord said the motte. Miss I'm Virginia cried the mutinous for 18 months, rather say money you cried those things in I BBA. And yes, simple, say nipa no befa ni nya no afa ni na posa yes simple sa yeah it no ebetimi aboa mo ama mo so motimi improve extra dan ama motimi etimi aboa mo investment so aba makwam em say time na kon I say you drew common so I drew na I say you making a point say every third week of the month biano for housing for housing other weeks need the finance need be a housing count by so they we see honum your brother let's say obeboy na your community no will deal with them a lot on the ground hunya me koso him say name be mum bi sa we are we so to dan grant near dey wo ha for free a obetimi nya it's not a kwanche no so we say buy na who say grant be kra ho no be free nyanka yini sa ne man tin hia niyama bi say ebetimi na conversation na end wa ha yento so o Facebook ko Patrick Barfi a betimi ato so ho no YouTube so yeah no kwan ya me bro ya ye friends and program be 2 or 3 in the third one cry ni the fourth one ni now ko Patrick Barfi YouTube channel mon join na yensua de wo ho na nye housing kwa more of financing o si sua de kakra so na enye bro fa niam bi tutudwa na afi no yenhwe we eti so they make an YouTube channel Patrick Barfi WhatsApp baby your friends all the social media handles now call Patrick Barfi but mostly YouTube near it time chichi we and I say Facebook would join here a bit me a chichi bro for information to just because see our banner obi hu ebi kra na wonya nye ready or so nya tips bia ebi kra betimi ya start ni ma toto ho no ma emfa na yin sabeka ho
medasi nana medasi ni High Life Radio and a 12 yes
that's be free
Nana Bacho, you'll be a true question back here. There, me.
Sorry, you. What's up, home?
No, one knows what they are back.
So, personal WhatsApp.
I also personal WhatsApp no.
Okay, I'm saying yeah. What do you mean by 100%? Please, can you throw more light on that? Bank and individual loan, which one is better? The first one, yeah. Bro, say, what do you mean by 100%? I'm saying what can be said now? Cause say, 100% krana. I'm saying, hono was one a friend saying, hono bit me true. I'm saying, talk of 100%
financing.
Financing, yes.
Yes, it's true. Their loans in the system are 100%. 100% mean 100%. Unfair to have one banker. It's a very reputable bank. Or movie. 100% is only conventional loans. And so conventional loan, the standard is high. They want to see a credit score of 700 or better. 100%. The product is good. And at the same time, they even give you $7,500 towards it's a free grant that they still give it to you. It's just unconventional. And even Virginia Housing, which is state also program VHD, there's 100%. Earlier on, so I did talk about USD loan. I make actually say
so for more outskirts.
Yeah, outskirts. No. And also 100%. No credit, are very, very good. Interest rate is very, very moderate. Because the idea here is to entice people to break away from the inner city, right? Into Honomo. And there are also few banks, 97.3. And 3% now by some kind of line of credit. And then the 97 also is the prime, mortgage. And so there are 100% programs that are there. So with a session of USDA and one of the other bank that are noted like and VAD now, most of this 100% program, the reason why I don't usually preach on it, is normally they try to tweak your rating a little bit. So let's say the same credit score, carry 3%, twice year, almost ABR 6.25. By virtue of 100%, they can say they are giving you a quarter or half a percentage more typically I always see half a percentage more, right? So a half a percentage more versus ABR. While we born home then 12,000 ABA. No save yourself ABR $150 a month. No, I mean you may think that we're 150 but when you look at it in a long term now, says kana for say we save 12,000 for down payment. No, where would the bank need free in form of interest rate. And so those when I mean 100 is 100, no down payment. But
500 500
yes, but the downside is we rate no more hiking kakra.
Oh, hiking kakra. Okay. All right. But if you can afford that, now how I think so.
Yes. And one of the things that I quickly said with Virginia housing, for instance, they always have 2% grant for conventional, 2.5% for FHA. But those grants, are tied to say, whoa, because you are contributing 1% of the down payment, right? And if you are not bringing your 1%,
oh, let's say I have 3% now. FHA for here.
No, for the conventional, no.
Oh, for conventional,
then the 3.5% for the FHA.
FHA, okay.
It's one for one amount. And I always tell people, say, even in the worst case now, why do I want to keep my 1% and lose 2% or 2.5%?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any financial sense to me. Right. Yes. So that is 100%. Brother Sam Pacho, are you clear on that?
Why clear?
Yeah, I don't know what my personal.
My clear on that.
Okay. Another question. I'll say bank or individual loan. Which one is better?
So Onoka banker, well, I mean, it's all about who is going to give you best interest rate. This question, I got it a lot, right? People are so officiated and my banker, me savvy, me navy. And to me,
you try 10% now, 5% to maybe as a store.
Yep.
Why so emotionally attached to that bank?
To bank, because this will have been saving all my money goes to bank B banks. No, it doesn't matter. And that's why for me, anybody that I help, I have over 10 different lenders from all the major credit unions, you can name them. I have loan officers in Apple, Navy, PenFed, name them, all the major bank, West Fargo, all these places. And so when I have clients, I always say, hey, apply with your bank. And let's compare the interest rate and see who is going to get you best interest rate. So to answer your question, it's not about either bank A or B. It's about who is giving you the best of the best.
Yo, bro, we need to say conversation at the same time, time at the year.
Okay.
Every third week of the month, into a question be a hold it off for your friend saying that you share near the atuto. Na ya good because if you miss a question, will be san obisu diano a yamount questions be bree beside a yaman crofo be bree. So question back me hit me pie individual obia own free or person to die or hand say more be bree ni nim sad no by Sanya Mano honum. It will question be a hold on every third week of the month, Sikasem. For housing, let's say, so far as the original origin free no hosa. It's brought fact be a big tin touch na infant free.
Yo, any the mechanic say me that nana any.
Grant, you are permanent resident, and what will be at the time of I don't know, sir.
Yes, I know those kind of things are there. I know some time ago, not specifically like Eda Alberto, but I know some time ago, the law changes all the time. Now we'll be $500,000. Or prove it or by Abbey investor. It has to be investment. You want to make and lie to them. Say, oh, me bet them. Now me buy me into Obanso, they will follow up to make sure say, would be invested? Until I know say yes, it used to be $500,000 some time ago, but another minimum. But as you say, or the better fee near they are granting staying there. To be honest, I'm not familiar with that, but I know say people who have money are almost proof to American embassy outside say almost be invested to boom the economy. Yes, they can give them family visa. It's a special visa. Would be drew her a work permit. A grant to a more permanent residency. But as you saw, debate of fee, ne yamano status in the minim about that.
Yeah, I think say the reason why I'm saying I'm for you, say if you need to say you can say investment, and you say me this kind of show investment. Na easy say what to fear when you invest here. It say no money you want na am for business. Me say story, but me say what to fear you fee per se. But investments when you invest, you bet me invest say scanner who boom in the economy. It say that's what I'm for exactly say fee.
Never just some way okay. Medasi. Enti nana ene na said okana medasi any half radio say omama ho kwan say every third week of the month bia ne yene adofo mra na yemesua de ne enya nmede said be ya ebema yensoso ya brabo akoso yesikasem eni titu yebenya ba bi atena yene abusuafo say yenso ye ho beto yen na daachi bia nso so yeton a yesu yenya sikadwetire bi na sekromu hew se yekoye kromu yetumi nso so yetumi ede abo abrapa ti de kan se nyame hira half radio ene wo ene yetiefo de bia no mutuni in ene mo a later nso mo bebo atie dwumadi nti se de nyanim no medi di Alex Adomako Champon me mo honorable servant makoa de bia no eyemu nti na me agent se ma meto dan me ha me agent nti eyemu ena ma ye me se me mu agent me nsom nti medamase wo akwanye ya mode ama me de mesre ni se de mode mo sabeka bia ebeye nhira modwuma ebekoso na se obi hwehwe me me number no 703-577-0872 me operating hours and as me work hours are 7 days a week between 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 days, meaning of every day. O fremia, on san kamyeja message, on sabe kame, and also say, me email so alex@champon.sp.com. Alex and your champon together. Dot S like Sam, P as Paul at something@gmail.com. And as I said, ubetumi Google me. Google me, Google Alex Adomako Champon. Ubehumi website any the ekosu ewo honomo. And as I say, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, baby I TikTok, Alex the Realtor, me honomo. But all the major you go there, Alex Champon, me ho ubehu jumedi a yedi nani so na nyame nso so enam yeso aboa mti de kan se yedamase biem nyame entina ni nkyerɛ mo na mo nyina munya good sleep anadwin. Bye.
Amen. That was very Ben, Cynthia, Luck, D, Joyce, Nana, Kwaku, and our mama Fusina, Montimi, and Train, some questions. David, King David, and now Maya Jumapa, or the Anantic, Munanyamishamo. And thanks for joining. Like I said, every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m., you will have for your finances in your housing, by I said that dedicated housing for the third week of the month. And your questions be over for housing, but other than that, the other days, finances won't high bit me. Am I used me to your finances more? Bit me, making sure say your budget coso, make sure say your debt all down. Yet me, the say bit me, I win it all scam. Home Juma Hanum. We share every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Hanum. And at a time, let me be by and come on the next week, by the third week of the month, for housing, and near bra, and a whole question be for bra na yanka wasem. Benny, Lily Benny, also thanks for joining. Until we meet again, make sure say you spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously. Munda yi. Love you all,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.